I started it, on my own in 2007. So I kind of started as a one-man show, because I like doing IT and I started with like three side clients. So with that, I found that I was, pretty good at what I did and started working with, got referred to other businesses here around town. And that's pretty much how we have grown the last 16 years. So, I got a client here and there and then, started hiring and it kind of, it's just snowballed into, I think we take care of over about 90 or so clients, businesses. We're a group of seven of us here. We take care of all different sorts of verticals. I think it's about 1,800 devices or so that we manage. So things are going good so far. I cannot complain. There's been a lot of different challenges, right? So everything, the biggest thing I think is just, the way technology changes. So at first it was a lot of, we used to do a little bit of a break fix with some of our clients, and then we changed, we kind of had half and half MSP clients. Part of it for me, a challenge was just letting go because I would do a lot of the IT stuff, you know? So part of growing was just hiring staff and delegating the tech work to them and trusting that they would do a good job. I don't know, it's honestly been, it just seems like it's, now that it's happened, it seems like it was very easy, but I know it wasn't, I think we just got very lucky with getting a lot of referrals and it was pretty easy to sign up clients, but I think always finding good technicians is probably the most difficult part of the journey is having good employees. I think what happened is pretty much at a certain point of our growth, I was really blind to a lot of factors, right? So I started getting coaching as far as certain KPIs and things that I should be looking for. So before, we've always used, I think, ConnectWise from the beginning as our ticketing system. But, starting out by myself and growing little by little, I was never really measuring anything. When we became an MSP and then I got some coaching on, how an MSP should be run, then that's when I started realizing that we needed to look at certain metrics to see how the company was going. So that's kind of how that transition happened for that side, and I guess before we started, I may be getting ahead of myself, but before we started with MSPbots, with the coach that I was using, they recommended that we use Bright Gauge. So that's kind of was my first initial taste of being able to have graphs and charts and, data on how my company was doing. I think the biggest differentiator was I like the bots, right? So with Bright Gauge, you can create dashboards and stuff like that. So one thing is that they weren't really too helpful at creating dashboards. They did have an initial onboarding course, and we were able to get some basic stuff set up. But if I wanted anything extra, I was pretty much, on my own. Fortunately, the coach that I used kind of knew how to set up some of that stuff, but it was good for some information. But if I wanted to go further into certain areas, I was kind of on my own on that. So, and then it did have little bells that you can do when certain, let's say if a ticket was running behind or something like that, but it just, it wasn't very like, we're in an open space office, so if you heard another bell go off, you don't know if it was for you or for them. So when I saw MSPbots right away, what intrigued me was being able to have the option of sending the message in Teams or via email, along with us being able to get the data from all of those different sources to see how our company was doing. Some of the reports are similar. I think MSPbots just has a more integration with more products. I think the one of the biggest things was the onboarding, the help that I got creating all of the dashboards that we needed, and then the constant creating of different dashboards and widgets that you guys do. There's always something new coming out. So sometimes there's data that I didn't even know I should be checking, you know what I mean? And then I go through and I'm like, let me see which dashboards they have now. And then I'm like, oh wow, like this is very useful. Just the amount of widgets that you guys have out of the box, the integrations and things like that really helps us with our metrics. So for example, there was some clients that, I thought we were making money on. And after seeing our profitability agreements and things like that, I realized that we needed to raise our prices for, certain clients. A lot of them were the older clients that had been with us for a while. I think the biggest thing that intrigued me too is that since we're a smaller shop, I don't have a service desk manager. So when I saw, the alerts that MSPbots does, it kind of created like a mini manager for me, so I wouldn't have to worry a lot of things. So for example, one of them was when a tech is stuck on a ticket, right? Sometimes because of their pride, they don't want to escalate it, or they don't realize how long they've been taking on a ticket. So I created a bot for my first level guys that if they don't solve it within the first 30 minutes, the bot sends me a Teams message, and it'll send the user a Teams message as well. So now they know that their time is up and they escalate it. So it helped our company get faster, right? Because that's what all of our clients want, is fast tech support. Before, a tech could stay on that a long time, and if I wasn't in the office or I was working on something else, there was really nobody to hold them accountable on that. It's just one example. So because it sends it in Teams, anywhere that I'm at, they know that I'm getting a message as well. They typically just escalate it right away without me having to message them or anything, because they know that I have eyes on them even when I'm not here. Yeah, I mean, I think it is really important to go through it, because, and then you have to kind of massage it every once in a while. It takes a little while to get it to where you want it, but like you said, I mean, we used to have a dispatcher, and she would like, there's no way that she can tell which clients, let's say, are higher value clients, just by looking at it. Like, it's impossible, right? So, through using Next Ticket, for example, we can do it by MSP agreement revenue, right? So that was one of the parameters in there. By using Next Ticket, it can, prioritize clients, higher end clients or VIP clients by revenue, just by having those parameters in there. But then also, setting up to where we have different groups in ConnectWise. Like, for example, phone system issues, we have only a set of techs that, work on phone systems. So that automatically routes it, because it knows when that technician is available and they request a neck ticket, it'll send it to them, but maybe it won't send it to the level 1 guys because they don't know how to troubleshoot that stuff. So it is important to take the time and go through and see what's best for your company. But once it's set up, like I said, if you do have a dispatcher, and then they can do a bunch of different other stuff and really not have to worry about that. But yeah, it just flows really good. Yeah, I mean, it did help us save on, I guess I would say, a salary, because we used to have a dispatcher before, but when we started using Next Ticket, it really helped, because the clients that pay us more, typically I put them higher level in the Next Ticket parameters, right? So our bigger clients, our better clients, are the ones that'll get a lot of times faster priority on tech support than some of the smaller ones. And then also we're able to put different issues, assign them to different techs as well. So it took a little getting used to, but I think once you set up the Next Ticket, it's really, really, really helpful, because now I don't have to have a person there reviewing tickets and dishing them out. It's just the tech. As soon as they're done, they just go up hit next ticket, and depending on what it's set up to, it'll either route to them or they can reject it if it's something else. But it did help us save on having a person having to work on that all day. Yeah, I think especially when rolling out the bots, I mean, I know you guys have it on your documentation, but it's just starting out slow and seeing which areas you might be lacking in. So for example, little things like I mentioned, escalations or bots and things like that, and just explaining to the team more than anything is why you're implementing these sort of things, because a lot of times it's like they see the bot and they might get annoyed, or what is this about? But when you explain to them the big picture, like for example in our instance, it's like, in order for us to compete with bigger MSPs, we don't have the manpower, so we have to be quick on what we do. So explaining to them the reason for the bots, like I said, with the escalation, a lot of it was like pride. They didn't want to let go of the ticket. It's like, why are you taking it away from me? But when I started explaining that it's because we have to just keep turning the wheels. It's okay if you weren't able to solve it, but it just helps us to go faster. So I think the biggest thing would be explaining to the techs why you're doing this, and then they get more buy-in when you have a good reason, other than we just need to make more money or something like that. For the most part with onboarding, it was good. They were able to, because we did have a set of dashboards that we had set up in BrightGauge, and that the coach that I was working with had set up. So that was one cool thing, is that they were able to take everything that we already had in BrightGauge and just move it over to MSPbots. So that was really helpful. Some of the training that I got, the team was very responsive. It was a pretty good experience. Support has been pretty good. I think lately it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but for the most part they do. I haven't really had any like super urgent issues as far as something that I need help with right away. So whenever I need help, maybe fixing a widget or something like that, they do a decent job. I do wish it was a little bit faster, but it's not, like I said, that's what everybody wants, right? But for the most part, I think overall, it's been a good experience. Another thing I want to throw in there is what I especially love is on the program that we're at, is I do get to have my monthly meeting with, I guess, my account manager. So it's rare for a company to do that. A lot of times we're used to getting they just sell us a product, and then they might send an email once a year or something like, hey, how's it going? But the cool thing with you guys is that we do have that monthly meeting. So it's always like, hey, like she always tells me, hey, did you know that we have this now? And we get a lot of emails, so sometimes you don't read through your emails, and they tell you like, hey, we have this new feature now, or we updated this, are you having any problems with anything? And she always helps if there is something pending. She pushes the team to get it done for us. But more than anything, it's just making you, keeping you up to date with everything. It makes you feel like you're getting your money's worth. It's an extra that nobody else does.